Every time I try to make this video, a new piece of the crazy story comes out. So by the time this comes out, who knows what new news will come out of this clusterfuck. This is not the Subnautica 2 news I was wanting to ever cover. However, I have no choice given this is news of a game I was incredibly excited by, but now I am not as sure. To make this video go a little smoother, I will quickly summarize some of the first pieces of this wild story. Back in 2021, Unknown Worlds, the devs behind Subnautica and Below Zero, were purchased by Krafton, a publishing company well known for PUBG. In an interview with YouTuber The Last Bacon around the time of the merger, Praxis, one of the devs, stated,
"It's not really changed our day-to-day in terms of making games, but what it has enabled us is to get more talent faster, and people who've maybe been in the industry longer. We have access to more resources, I would say. So it's been a net plus for us. So we've been able to expand much faster because of that, and so we're able to do a lot more cool stuff because of that. So it's definitely a net positive."
It showed devs were looking favorably to acquisition. It was a way to make their project better for their community with experienced talent and possibly needed funds, since Unknown Worlds almost went bankrupt before the release of Subnautica into early access. On July 2nd of this year, Krafton released an announcement stating that the leadership of Unknown Worlds, consisting of co-founder Charlie Cleveland, company president Ted Gill, and other co-founder Max McGuire, I'm not sure how to say that, my apologies, were fired effective immediately. To say this sat poorly with the community would be the greatest understatement of the year. Basically, as soon as this was announced, the internet exploded against Krafton. Almost as soon as the news came out, the internet began to shit on Krafton for its decision, which came to a surprise to absolutely nobody. However, the worst of it has unfortunately yet to come. On the 9th of July, Unknown Worlds put out an update to the community which delayed the release of the game from sometime this year to next year, and to me in a way that suggested that Krafton obviously got an early preview and edited it, because it reads a ton of corporate speak. Charlie Cleveland, now unfortunately the former dev of Subnautica 2, put out a long tweet that talks about the history of Unknown Worlds, and it gives off the impression this definitely was not the leadership's decision to leave. Starting here, we are about to see, in my opinion, some of the worst thing a publisher has done in quite a while. Also, on July 9th, Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg released an article claiming that allegedly the reason Subnautica 2 was to be delayed was to avoid paying a $250 million bonus to Unknown Worlds if they met certain goals by the end of this year, which coincidentally was the original release window of Subnautica 2, which was going to smash whatever goals were in place. In this article, who have talked to employees who did not wish to be named because they are not allowed to talk to media, that leadership was going to split the massive bonus with all the devs who were there when the studio was acquired, which would range from a bonus from hundreds of thousands of dollars to even seven figures for the original staff. However, conveniently, shortly after this article from Bloomberg is published, we get an unexpected gameplay trailer. And my personal opinion is that they needed something ready to distract the player base who are rightfully upset with Krafton. It is also my opinion that Krafton fired leadership because they refused to delay the game, thus disqualifying them from the bonus. But Krafton got someone who would, but that again, that is just speculation on my part. Krafton later released another update claiming they fired leadership because they, quote, abandoned the game and they were concerned by the, quote, lack of content at release, end quote. Yes, you heard that right. They were concerned by an early access release. The only good news to come out of this, I'm using the largest set of air quotes imaginable, is that it shows who Krafton really are, and the best news is that Charlie announced that he is suing Krafton. I am honestly rooting for him. I also heartily believe I am far from the only one. As someone who has been a fan of Subnautica since April of 2015, this destroys me to see. Unknown Worlds spent so long building a good reputation and fan base, only for Crafton to piss it all down the drain for the sake of allegedly saving money. I somewhat find it ironic that in both Subnautica and Natural Selection, Altera is an extremely greedy, slimy company, and that is exactly what Crafton has done. I guess to immerse the player of how shitty of a company Altera is, Crafton needed some more material to pull from. I think the best way to sum this up is my comment on the Subnautica 2 trailer. Multiple Crafton class life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you are doing is worth it? No, it is not. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you. This has been an utter disaster for the community. I hope I don't have to cover more of this. My next video is probably going to be on Planet Crafter. I've gotten into the game, already put so much time into it, didn't even cross my mind to record some, so by the time when I'm done finishing with Planet Prime, I'm going to move on to Humble and to Crafton. If you watch this for some unknown reason, here's a message from me. Hell, the whole community. Fuck you.